An FBI investigation, free school meals and a new job scheme. This is your TLDR News daily briefing for Thursday, October 22nd. In the first story of the daily briefing today, we have big news from the US. And much like 4 years ago, it's an announcement of an FBI investigation just a couple of weeks before polling day. Yesterday evening, Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe, alongside Director of the FBI Christopher Wray, announced that Iran and Russia had obtained voter registration information, which could be used to spread information that could cause confusion and chaos in the final weeks of the election. The main allegation seems to be that Iran has been sending threatening emails to Democrat voters, seemingly from the far-right Proud Boys, basically implying that if the recipient does not vote for President Trump, then they will be in danger. Supposedly, this is intended to drum up support for Trump's opponent, Joe Biden, by associating Trump with a group such as the Proud Boys.
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
This will likely only accelerate the president's claims that the election is rigged. Democratic leaders such as Chuck Schumer have been keen to express that this meddling should be seen as an attack on election integrity rather than just on President Trump. There are a few caveats to note about this story at its early stage. First of all, it's not confirmed at the time of writing whether the information sourced by Iran was already publicly available, or if it involved some form of hacking. Secondly, there's no evidence that this is election meddling in the sense of removing voters from registered databases, which would concretely impact people's ability to vote. In UK politics today, the government has been facing intense backlash both online and in newspapers following its refusal to back a House of Commons motion that would ensure that those who need free school meals continue to get them over the holidays. This proposal was introduced by the Labour Party and attempted to extend the free school meals programme to the upcoming half-term holiday. The government has suggested that its reason for not backing the proposal was because other schemes, such as universal credit, would suffice.
But while the provision of free school meals is being closed, the gravy train is still open for business. £7,000 a day for consultants working on a test and trace system that doesn't work. Yesterday, a business minister said that extending free school meals is not as simple as writing a cheque. But why is it that the money only runs out when it's hungry children who need it?
They also argue that expecting schools to open and provide meals to children in the holidays would be an unreasonable burden to put on them. Although this was the line by the government, 5 Conservative MPs remained unconvinced and actually voted for Labour's proposal. They weren't the only ones unconvinced by the government's argument. The Daily Mirror's front page today featured the words "so cruel," filled with the names of every MP who voted against the motion. In addition to this, Marcus Rashford, the footballer who first put pressure on the government to introduce the policy, later tweeted that these children matter. These children are the future of this country, in a clear criticism of MPs who voted against it. Exactly how much the government will be undermined due to this fiasco is still yet to be seen. In more UK news today, Chancellor Rishi Sunak has announced new measures to help businesses affected by the government's new Tier 2 restrictions. This is because, although the Chancellor has already introduced measures to help businesses under local restrictions, these only apply to those living under Tier 3 measures, the harshest restrictions. Today though, he's admitted that businesses trying to operate under Tier 2 restrictions are also facing hardships, and has therefore introduced 3 changes. The first allows such businesses to receive grants of up to £2,100 per month. The second change is reducing the number of hours that must be worked in order for them to be eligible for the job support scheme, from 33% to 20% of regular hours. The final change is to the self-employed. He's announced that income support for the self-employed will increase from 20 to 40%. Up to a maximum of £3,750. And we'll find out in the days to come whether people really believe these measures go far enough. If you're keen to hear us discuss issues like this in more detail, the latest episode of the Too Long Didn't Read podcast has literally just been released. In the episode, the team discussed Manchester, PMQs, and the latest Brexit developments. Anyway, there's a link to the podcast and the podcast YouTube channel in the description. For those of you who think the news is too long, be sure to check out tomorrow's daily briefing. Read the newsletter by signing up at tldrnews.co.uk/daily. Listen to the briefing by searching for TLDR News in your podcast app, or watch the briefing over at youtube.com/TLDR Daily.